Hello and welcome to my channel for episode 3 of us cleaning our houses wall by wall. Thank you all that have been following along so far. If you're one of the people that have already watched the first 2 episodes and now you're watching the third, please let me know in the comments so I can celebrate you. Today I'm going to be talking about Martha and Mary from Luke chapter 10 verses 38 to 42. This has always been a Bible story that's puzzled me a little because I can see both sides of these ladies' points. If you don't know about the Bible study of Martha and Mary, Jesus was coming to visit them at their house, and Mary just sat at his feet and listened to everything he said, and Martha was in the kitchen doing all the work, and she was getting mad at Mary. So she asked Jesus, "Tell her to help me," and he said, "No, Mary chose the right thing. You won't always have me. You will always have stuff to do, but you won't always have me." And it puzzled me because when I was younger, one of my pastors told me I was a Mary. So it was kind of a compliment to me because I was Mary. He said Mary made the right choice. But I come from a family of very hard workers. So I was also a little confused, like, are they seeing me as lazy? Like everybody's always working and I'm just sitting around. So I didn't know if it was a compliment or an insult, but actually it was neither. I was just young and didn't know better. So I think I was a Mary, and then I became a wife and a mother, and I think I flipped a little and became a Martha. I heard a Bible study once because this would be one of the stories I would always ask God about, like, what do you want me to know from this study? And then recently I heard a Bible study on, did Martha know Jesus was coming? Did she wait and do all the work once everyone was there for a show? And that was the first time I heard that take on it. I was like, that was interesting. That was an interesting take on it because I never thought of that before. So I started looking more into Martha and Mary. And I found it interesting that Jesus never said to Martha, "Why can't you be more like your sister?" Because God made Marthas and Marys, and he knows our hearts. I'm about to talk about when God showed me this whole Martha-Mary thing in my life, but when he was showing me this, I wasn't thinking of it in the terms of Martha and Mary, but God just has a way of bringing things to your understanding, even if it takes a while. So I guess when I became a wife and a mom, I went back and forth from a Mary to a Martha. I'm the type of mom that is very involved with my kids, very lovey. Yes, I was the one that held them all the time. I did so much for them. I would rock and sing them to sleep every night. I would curl up on the couch with them for a movie or a nap. That was my Mary side. I really took in those baby years, those little kid years, and even now. And I will never regret that. I would do it the same way if I had the chance because I have great relationships with all 3 of my kids, and they're awesome little people, and I love being around them. But that didn't leave my house being the cleanest, neatest house. And I'd be fine chilling with my babies and my kids all day, and then guilt would set in of what my house looked like, and I was failing as a wife and a mother because it was like crazy in here. So on my husband's days off, I would ask him to take the kids away from the house for the day so I could clean. And he is awesome, so he would do it. He did so much stuff with them. And I would be home scrubbing the house to the point that my body would be in pain by the end of the day. And when they got back and they got home, the house would be sparkling and I would be in pain and exhausted. And the kids started saying something that was so true but still stung a little bit. They would always say, "Daddy's the fun one." And he is so much fun. He is way fun. I love to be with him too. And I was so happy for him and for them that they were getting this time together. I was the one stopping that part of our relationship. I was staying home and missing out on all their fun adventures to have a sparkling house that they never even mentioned. They probably didn't notice. And honestly, it was probably a mess by the next day. Like Martha, I did not make the right choice. Mary's choice would have been better. So I adjusted. God loves you exactly where you are, but he will not leave you there. If you listen, he will correct you and guide you to better. Not because you have to be better for him to love you more, but because he wants you to be better for you, so you can have joy and peace in your life. He loves you that much. And I was not taking full advantage of these wonderful little people that he gave me. I was more worried about the house. But all that being said, if I would have went out on the fun adventures and I'm also home snuggling and singing and playing and all the things with the kids, the house was still a mess. And I am a wife and mother, and things need to be clean. Food needs to be cooked. Stuff still needs to be done. So I've made some adjustments over the years, and some of the things I've changed over the past years is I make a list. Usually I make it the night before. If not, I make it as soon as I wake up. But I write down the stuff that has to get done for the day. I stick to the list in the system, but I'm still flexible if something happens, like if one of them were homesick or if there's somewhere we had to go. I had to realize in my mind that this list I can't be so strict about it that if I don't follow the list exactly, like it throws my whole day off, because that won't be good for our relationship either. So I stick to a list in the system, but I'm flexible. Every day on my list, the first thing on the list is straighten the house. So after I get my husband and my kids up, fed, off to work and school, I go through and straighten all the rooms. Not deep cleaning, straightening. Picking up stuff, putting it in the right place, putting it in the right room, making sure the couch cushions are pushed in and the blankets are folded, the dirty laundry's off the floor, just whatever happens to be out of the way. Cups that they left on the table from the night before, I just go through and straighten. And every single day I vacuum all the rooms. If you watched my other videos, I've talked about that before. I think a house could look so much cleaner just by vacuuming it, even if you didn't do anything else. And I think it has the opposite effect. You could clean everything in the house, and if you don't vacuum the floors, I feel like it doesn't seem as clean. So straightening the house is the first thing, vacuuming the house. I write these out because it feels good then to cross them off. Who doesn't love to cross off a list? Dishes are on my every day. I do all the dishes. For a while, I didn't have a dishwasher and I was washing them by hand, and I would get very behind on that, and that would be frustrating. But I do have a dishwasher now that works fabulously, and I have to thank God for it. I thank God every time I use that dishwasher and take those dishes out and they're sparkling clean, because that is a time saver. So that's on my list every day. Laundry. Every day, I keep switching the loads of laundry. We have a lot of laundry. But I just keep switching them. I don't say how many loads I'm going to do. I do it from the time I start my straightening and stuff until I end what I'll call my work day. And I just keep getting done as much as I can. And instead of when I used to do laundry, I just kept doing loads and loads and loads and either throwing it all in a pile to fold later or folding it but just leaving it in folded piles either on the kitchen table or the couch or wherever. Now instead, it goes in the washer, the dryer, I take it out, I fold it, I put that load away. I used to have the mindset, well, I'm doing like 100 loads of laundry, I might as well put it all away at the same time. But two things. One, you look at those piles then and you don't even want to deal with putting them away. And two, if something does come up that you don't have time to put away that laundry, that's one more thing that's like making you feel like your house is a mess and you have so much to do, and it makes it just mentally like the workload is too big. So laundry, I put it away as soon as I fold a load. I put walking on my list every day. And this is my Monday through Friday list. And some of it's most of it's Saturday. This walking is just Monday through Friday. Because I realized once I started walking, I started feeling better mentally, physically, everything. And I don't go on a long walk. I just go down to walk where I get my son off the bus, like anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes early, depending on how much time I have that day. And I get a walk in outside in the fresh air with the sunshine. I don't listen to any music or anything. I just think or pray or just look around. And another thing I put on my list every day is make dinner, because even though I know I'm going to do that every day, one, it reminds me, do I have to get meat out of the freezer, or is there anything I need to prep before people get home, or is there anything I could prep to save time for later? So I write make dinner on the list, and then I get to cross it off. For things, part of this new way I've been trying to do stuff is the wall-to-wall cleaning you're watching right now. Like, you're watching me go around this room and clean each section of the wall and everything on the wall. If you haven't watched my first 2 episodes, I just started doing this recently, and so I thought I would take you guys on, but I had this thought for a while, like, what if I just would deep clean one wall a day, Monday through Friday, I don't do it on the weekends, then everything in my house would be touched and deep cleaned, and like, when it was time for someone to come over or whatever, I would know in my mind, like, that was just cleaned recently. So this is my living room, and I'm going wall to wall, but that's part of my plan to getting stuff done while no one is here, keeping it cleaner when no one's here, so I have the time once they're home. Whatever I'm doing on my list, I always stop between 2:30 and 2:45. So I do stuff throughout the day on my list, because my list becomes more, if I have more projects to do, if I have whatever, I add that stuff to my list too. The things I just said are just my like everyday, so there's different things that can be added to the list. But I keep working on the list. I stop and I have lunch, but I figure my husband's at work, working 8 hours a day. My kids are at school. So while they're gone, this is when I'm doing my work. And I get so much stuff done in this mindset. Now, when you're a mom, you're not really like clocked out at 2:30 or 2:45. I mean, you're still taking care of everyone, making meals, getting ready for bed, whatever. But I do the grunt of my work at this time. And then, like I said before, when it becomes 2:30 or 2:45, I stop what I'm doing and get my walk in down to the bus stop. And then from the time they get home until they go to bed, I just try and spend as much time with them. Like, we have dinner together. We mostly have dinner at the table because I absolutely love that. If they had the choice, we wouldn't. But something funny always ends up happening. Like, we always end up having some kind of funny or cute conversation. And I just think having dinner at the table is fun. It's like, at first, when we first start dinner, and I'm like, does anyone want to talk about their day? No one wants to say anything. But then if someone starts saying something little, it gets everybody going, and I just love it. Now, I realize this study on Mary and Martha is actually about time we spend with Jesus, not our family. But I believe the Bible is like an instruction book on how we could live our lives. And God showed me how this story applied to me and the relationships with my people on earth. As far as my relationship with Jesus, that isn't even on my to-do list, because that's just an ongoing, everyday, all-day thing. In one of my future videos, I will do a video and talk about all the different ways that I welcome God into my daily life and my chores and my exercising and all the things. But this was just what was on my heart to share today. So I hope that it blessed somebody. If you're a mom or a wife out there and maybe you're struggling mentally with how to get it all in, I just wanted to share, like, this is what I do, and this system has helped me so much. And I really do feel so much peace in my house, so much more than I did. And I am just so thankful to God for being so patient with me and always leading me to do better. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode.